Hey YouTube, CJ from Roswell Astronomy here in now sunny Roswell, Georgia for a change. You know that we have a saying here in Georgia that if you don't like the weather, stick around for a week because it will change. And last week we were in the 50s and the 60s during the day, and we had lows of 50s, which one clear night was able to get the old G11 out and play with it a little bit. But now we're back to 30 here in the daytime, and I think we got a low tonight of somewhere in the mid-20s, but it is supposed to be clear. You can see some blue skies peeking through here with a few clouds, but that's supposed to get out by later on this evening. Okay, so interesting development here. My polar scope, which I thought was accurate, and I always made sure, through the reticle that, my stars were lined up with, Polaris and then the second star. Being in light pollution, I can only get the 2 stars. But, I went back and looked at some of my graphs and on PhD, and I was still showing a pretty heavy polar alignment error, and I couldn't figure out why. And if you've seen some of the past videos, there were some days I was getting really great guiding, then other days, remember I was telling you all it was kind of wonky. So I looked at my polar scope when I was out the other night, and there was some flexure in the polar scope, and I know where it's coming from. So you have to release this ring right here. You can back this ring off a little bit in order to adjust. Basically, it's like a mini telescope, so you have to adjust this in order to bring it into focus. And when it's in focus, and I'm not sure how well you're going to be able to see this when we're doing it one-handed, but I don't know if you can see that or not. There's just a little bit of flexure, just a little bit. And I tried going all the way in and trying to get a different focus, to where the reticle is in focus and the stars were in focus, but it's only when it's out to this point, and there's just a little bit of flexure, just a little bit. So what was happening, and I noticed it the other night when I was looking through the scope, basically if I put my hand up here, and this is how I noticed it, when I put my hand up here to turn the light on for the reticle, it shifted, and when it shifted I saw Polaris jump. So I was like, okay, obviously there's some issues there. So watched a bunch of videos, even sent an email to Chuck and asked him about his product that he was using, and yep, I did it. Dun 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 dun. The unveiling. Whoosh. The QHY PoleMaster. So I'm going to plug it in tonight, and I'm not going to do a whole video on putting it together or actually doing. I may do a little bit of the alignment, but there's plenty of videos out there that cover the PoleMaster. But we're going to see it. I'm going to compare it to the graphs that I had for the past couple of weeks, and then I'm going to see what kind of error I'm going to have now. So I'm going to forego the polar scope for now. We'll try the QHY tonight, and we'll see if that gets a little bit better. It is kind of windy outside today, and the wind's supposed to stay through the night. I think it's something like 14 to 11 something miles per hour of wind, but I am kind of protected a little bit on 3 sides, so there's just a little bit right out there in front. So anyway, we're going to try it. Let's see what happens, and hopefully I can start being consistent on my guiding and everything. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. Be back later. I guess I'll post another video later on just to show the results of the PoleMaster, and also too we're going to try to get some more data on one of the images I've been working on now for about a month or so. So all right guys, clear skies. Hope you all are out tonight. Okay, I lied. I actually am going to do a little bit on installation. So on a lot of videos I saw, and I'm sure this is still the way, so on some of the mounts in your polar scope, where your polar scope usually comes through, or where you look out, I should say, it goes in on the other end, but where it comes out, you know, they were putting the adapter on, and then there were two little set screws, or maybe three, that went in to hold it into place. But for the G11, which this is the assembly kit for the G11, it actually, God, look at this, trying to do it one-handed. It actually screws in. I'm trying, but it ain't working. It actually screws right in, and it's threaded here because that's where your cap goes for your polar scope when it's not in use. But look at that. It just screws right in. I was expecting having to put the little set screws in there, but nope, it just screws right in. So if you have a G11, that's one less step you have to do, adjusting those little tiny set screws to go into the side. So anyway, going to get the rest of it put together, and we'll get started.